The IRS has said that individuals who did not file their taxes in 2018 and 2019, and individuals who did file their taxes but did not provide any direct deposit information, may have to wait up to 2 months to receive their stimulus payments. If you fall into one of these two categories or know someone who does, in this video I'm going to explain what you can do right now to expedite your payments. Oh, and since this is a real estate investing channel, landlords, you should also listen up and pass this information along to your tenants. The faster they get their stimulus, the faster you get your rent. Let's get into it. Hey guys, if we're just meeting, my name is Vitaly Volpov. I'm a practicing attorney, an active real estate investor, and a part owner of a real estate brokerage in upstate New York. On this channel, I discuss relevant legal concepts as well as best strategies and tips for real estate investing. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that YouTube notifies you of all my future content. If you enjoy the content in this video, hit the like button and comment down below. Alright, let's first go over some of the eligibility criteria that you have to meet in order to get the stimulus. If you're an individual filer and your gross adjusted income is $75,000 or less, you're eligible for a $1,200 stimulus payment. If you're married and filing jointly and your adjusted gross income is $150,000 or less, you and your spouse are entitled to a stimulus payment of $2,400. Also, if you're considered the head of household and your adjusted gross income is $112,500 or less, you're also entitled to the $1,200 stimulus payment. Additionally, if you have dependent children under the age of 17, you're entitled for an additional $500 per child. Now, if your income exceeds these limits, you may still be eligible for a reduced stimulus payment depending on how high your income is. The stimulus payment will be phased out completely for individuals whose adjusted gross income is $99,000 or more, and for joint filers whose adjusted gross income is $198,000 or more. I'm going to include a link to a useful calculator for figuring out exactly how much your stimulus payment should be based on your income and your filing status. I'm also going to share my screen with you guys right now and do a quick calculation just to show you guys how the calculator works. You guys can find this calculator on the Forbes.com website, and it's really simple to use. The first thing it asks you is, have you filed your 2019 tax return? Let's assume for this example that you did, so you hit yes. The next question is, what was your filing status in your 2019 tax return? And let's just say for the sake of this example, it's going to be single. And let's just say your income for 2019 was $85,000. And let's also say that you have one dependent child. We just fill that in, hit calculate, and it says that your stimulus payment is going to be $1,200. Now let's assume that you didn't have a child. Let's just see if you were just a single person and that was your income, how much of a stimulus payment would you get? In that case, your stimulus payment would be $700. Now, according to Forbes, the stimulus payments are reduced by $5 for every $100 that your income exceeds the stated limits. So that's how they're able to tell how much you're entitled to by plugging in the amounts of your adjusted gross income. So now what about the people who either did not file in 2018 and 2019, or those who filed but did not provide their direct deposit information? Well, according to the publicly available information, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, those people may have to wait weeks and weeks to get their payments because those payments will be coming by check. Having said that, the IRS has just created a portal for individuals who did not have to file 2018 and 2019 taxes, where those individuals can go, fill out the necessary information, provide their banking information, and receive a direct deposit much quicker. I'm going to walk you guys through that process, show you how to create a login, as well as how to fill out the necessary forms. But first I want to mention briefly what you can expect if you fall into the other category, where you filed your taxes but you did not provide your direct deposit information. According to an April 10, 2020 press release from the Department of Treasury, there's going to be another portal created by the IRS. The press release provides that later this month, the IRS will launch a separate online application called Get My Payment, which allows taxpayers who filed their tax return in 2018 or 2019 but did not provide their banking information on their return to submit direct deposit information so that they can receive payments immediately, as opposed to checks in the mail. Get My Payment will also allow taxpayers to track the status of their payment. So I'm going to link to that press release down below so you guys can check that out as well, and I'm going to provide you guys an update as soon as this becomes available. Alright, so for those who did not need to file for 2018 and 2019, here's how you can expedite your stimulus payment. You're going to want to go to this webpage on the irs.gov website. I'm going to drop a link to this site in the description below, but if you guys don't trust that link, and I don't blame you if you don't, what you should do is you should go to Google and type in non-filers IRS Portal and hit enter. You want to make sure that you're clicking on the website that says irs.gov. Make sure it doesn't say .com or any other variations. irs.gov is the official website for the Internal Revenue Service. There may be a lot of scammers out there, so you want to make sure that you're going to the right place. And when you go there, you will see that at the top it will say an official website of the United States government. You should also see a little padlock in the corner next to the URL. This way you will know that you're on the official IRS website. Once you're there, you want to scroll down to the middle of the page where you can see the non-filers enter payment information here. Now, as IRS mentions down below on the same webpage, the link will take you to another site called Free File Fillable Forms. This is a certified IRS partner, and this site is safe and secure according to the IRS. So you would then follow the instructions on that page and provide the relevant information. So let's do that now. So I click on that button and it takes me to this page. And on this page you will see that it provides some of the criteria and tells you who should not be using this service. If you receive Social Security, Railroad Retirement, or SSDI benefits, you do not need to fill out this form. The IRS will automatically send you your stimulus payment to the same bank account that you're using for those benefits. Also, if you've already filed a 2019 federal income tax return, you wouldn't be using this service. And you also wouldn't be using this service if your 2019 gross income exceeded $12,200 or $24,400 for a married couple, because in that case, you would have to file a tax return, and this would not apply to you. All right, so having said that, the next step is to get started and set up an account. So once you click on Get Started, it takes you to this page. And on this page, you would be creating a new account, basically a login, so that you can go ahead and get to the application form. So you would just put in your email address, create a user ID, put in your phone number, although you don't have to do that, and then you would create a password. Once you've confirmed your password, you would then click on Create Account, and this website will send you an email to the email address that you provided for verification. Here's what the verification email looks like, and all you have to do is basically just click on Confirm My Account's email address. And once you do that, it'll just take you to this page where it says Email Address Verified, and you can click Continue. Once you click Continue, it will take you back to the login page. You would then log in using your login information, and you will get to this next step. All right, so once we're on this screen, here's the information that you need to provide. First thing you got to do is you got to tell the IRS what your filing status would be. So is it single or are you married filing jointly? So that's the first thing you got to do. Then you would fill in your name, Social Security number. If you're filing jointly with your spouse, you would put in their name and their Social Security number on the next line. Then you would put in your home address, city, state, zip. You want to make sure that you answer the question whether someone can claim you as a dependent or claim your spouse as a dependent. And if someone else can claim you on their tax return as a dependent, you won't be eligible for the stimulus payment. So if you're going to this step, presumably you're not a dependent. So this probably wouldn't apply to young people who are being claimed as dependents on their parents' returns. The next thing you want to do is if you have dependents of your own, you want to list their names, you want to put their Social Security numbers here, relationship to you, and there are different categories for who would qualify depending on their status as a dependent. And then if there's a IP PIN that IRS provided you, you would put that in there. But if you don't have that, you don't have to put it in. The next thing it asks you for is your banking information. So you would put your routing number for your bank account, and you would put your account number, and you would also reference whether it's a checking account or a savings account here. Again, if you have an identity protection PIN, which may have been provided to you by the IRS, you could put that in here, but you don't have to do that because not everyone has that, and it's only for certain special circumstances where you get that. So once you fill all of that out, you would just go to step 2. When you go to this page, the first paragraph here may be a little bit confusing because it's asking you to enter your 2018 adjusted gross income or put in your 5-digit self-selection signature PIN. And it also tells you to look at your last year's federal tax return and enter your AGI in the space provided below. But if you didn't file a tax return, just like we talked about, there's actually an option for that as well, which says if you didn't file your tax return last year, enter 0 in the taxpayer AGI space. So you would put 0 there. And you would do the same thing for your spouse, assuming the spouse didn't have a return that they filed. The next thing you got to do is you have to put in the date on which you're filing. You would put your cell phone number here, and you would also choose a 5-digit PIN that will be memorable to you, that you will remember for the future. So if you're filing by yourself, you would create one PIN, put that in. If your spouse is also filing, then you would have your spouse do that as well. You also have to put in your date of birth, your driver's license ID number, the state that your driver's license is issued in, your driver's license issue date, and its expiration date. So once you're done with all that, you would click on Continue to e-file, and that should hopefully process your application, and you should get a verification email saying that your application has been received. So that's what you would do to expedite your stimulus payment if you did not file a return in 2018 and 2019. As I said in the beginning of my video, this channel is designed to help real estate investors and landlords. And as I've covered in many of my other videos, right now a lot of tenants are out of work and they're not paying their rent. Additionally, a lot of states have now placed bans on evictions so that landlords are unable to enforce the terms of their leases. Now, obviously, circumstances vary for different people. Some tenants may not be willing or able to pay their rent even after they receive their stimulus. But in my opinion, if you're a landlord, you want to try to help your tenants get the stimulus payment. Because if they get their stimulus payment, that increases the likelihood that you will get your rent. So if you are a landlord, I would suggest sharing this information, assuming that your tenants are in a position where they didn't file their taxes and they may have to wait for weeks and weeks on end to get their checks. This may allow them to get those payments quicker and hopefully get you paid your rent. So with that said, guys, thank you for watching. If you have any questions for me on anything that I discussed in this video, drop me a comment down below. I'm happy to answer any questions that I get. Also, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.